Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. This is a daily for Bitcoin to see what happened and what it might happen next. Now, basically, yesterday we saw the invalidation of a bearish, and we took, of course, the zone 1 with the wave 4, meaning, of course, there is no impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And that means, of course, what's going on here is a separate structure, of course, that is unfolding, which it is definitely can be an A, B, and a C over there. Now, basically, of course, there are several scenarios for this happening here. Now, yesterday, of course, I mean, it was a very good signal to take invalidation. But what happened after it right now, moving impulsively, well, that is a little bit surprising. But still, of course, I mean, we already mentioned that we might be in a potential ABC toward the downside, looking for a wave 4. So there are also possibilities here for an A, B, and a C for the expanding flat, as I mentioned before, where we were looking for expanding flat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because of the invalidation, it might have transformed to 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And that means you would like to see an impulse, correction impulse, and of course another potential wave 5 here to finish kind of like a wave C in an ending diagonal. And that because, of course, in this case, if we are looking for a wave 2 here after this impulse, in case that we are looking for a wave 2 here, let's say it is a 1, 2, I would say that this might take a little bit more time, can, of course, take more time until double time, but this is much likely still, of course, to be in an impulse in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if not double 1, 2, okay, we have passed almost the time, but don't forget that also the wave 4 timing taken from this wave can be here taken if we want to take this as the top. You still can, of course, looking for a wave 4 in a wave 2, which it needs even much more time. Meaning, of course, it can still dive for deeper and go even sideways or in a diagonal here for an ending diagonal to reach at least the 1 to 1 fifth time. Even it can go in a very bearish scenario or very corrective scenario, I would say, as potential 1, 2, 1, 2. Very unlikely because this 1, 2 is bigger than the previous one, which is very unlikely to be double 1, 2. Then having 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. But basically, I'm still watching, of course, this blue zone for a wave 4. I'm going to see what this is going to unfold. Don't forget also if we have topped over there, because it can be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 somehow. But yeah, I mean, the wave 4 interfered with the zone 1, meaning, of course, much more likely as a corrective ABC here. And especially by taking the high in a corrective wave, that means, of course, you are in something expanding or in W, X, and a Y. And that means, of course, much more likely that we are in a corrective channel here rather than a bearish scenario, okay? So plus yesterday, of course, the invalidation taken. Okay, so reduce so much the possibility for something very, very bearish. Okay, very, very strong correction. So what we get today is a potential new structure here unfolding after 3 waves down. It can be 3 waves up, wave B. It can be, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, simple regular flat. It can be even triangle A, B, C, D, and a E if we fail to take the low. It has a lot of possibilities still, guys, but what I know so far that this is corrective, of course, from the price of yesterday. And that means, of course, sooner or later, we're still gonna move toward the upside. We're still seeking for something higher, unless only one scenario is that, okay, incredibly, that this has transformed to an impulse, which is not, and that you have topped over there, and you're looking potentially for a leading diagonal wave 1, wave 2, and then dropping down. Very low possibility because this doesn't look like an impulse first, meaning ABC, the wave B took the high, meaning very corrective. And of course, in case you are moving in a leading diagonal 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, it can be in only one scenario, but yeah, we already saw it in the daily, but very low possibility based on the micro level here, unless also we have finished here in an ending diagonal somehow like that, in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. But you still have 1, 2 here, right? You still have a 1, 2 then to complete. So also not really perfect structure to say that even this is an ending diagonal here, because if you have 1, 2, 3, wave 4, wave 5 finished as an ending diagonal, you still have a 1, 2 over there. And this, of course, open a debate again, of course, about this structure to be impulsive or not. But I believe higher possibility, I would say 70% so far, this is a corrective wave. And the highest possibility is an ABC, might be, of course, the ending diagonal here that is going to range for a while and then moving toward the upside later on. So this is what I see, of course, for Bitcoin on the micro level. 30% to be, of course, in top here, meaning that you might have topped as a potential zigzag, right? 3 ways. And that because on the daily, let's go back on the daily, we are in potential finished ending diagonal as well for the bull run, which is this one, right? Actually, the bear one is this one, meaning we have topped here as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and that finishes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for a wave 5 in the bull run 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So if this happens, meaning you want to see, of course, something very, very strong bearish, right? And that means, of course, that you are in a formation of a leading diagonal on the micro level, and then 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5. Yes, there is a possibility. So far, it's still just 30%, I would say. There is another possibility that you might still be in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So we might be looking for the 0.38, 0.5. Meaning you might still looking for 116, 118K, and then moving for a wave 5 still for new highs. So also this possibility is still very corrective here, that you might have finished, of course, a 1, 2, 3. You're looking for the wave 4 and for the wave 5. After an A, B, and a C, of course, this is an A, B, and a C expanding flat, and you might still, of course, be around the perfect fib levels for a wave B in an expanding flat 1.38, and here we go. Yeah, so one more wave can simply take the high a little bit because this is your target. Potentially for, let me just put a new target in case we are in a wave 5 here. So the wave 5, well, we need the wave 4 before, but let's say the wave 4 is gonna take the perfect fib level. Wave 5 as diagonal can still, of course, hit a little bit higher. Yeah, can still reach the 130, 131, or even 127. So still, of course, possible, guys, for higher prices. We're not yet bearish. That is just 30% so far for the bearish, nothing more. Now, this scenario, of course, is your bearish where you have topped here. Okay, you have finished an ending diagonal potentially, but yeah, very low possibility still. And we still have some bullish scenarios in our pocket here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ending diagonal. Yeah, still can reach around 147, of course. Those are the most bullish scenario. Of course, there is even one much more than this, but of course, it's too early to talk about it. But these are the overview, guys. Of course, there is a 30% of bear market to unfold, but still, of course, in 30%, I would say the things might start to get much more higher in percentage for the bear market once we get the following price action. So once we finish this ending diagonal, we're gonna see the reaction over there. If we see 3 ways up and we move down, we take the low here, then we confirm a bear market potentially here to unfold. Of course, higher probability, like we go 50%. Why? Because you still can be in a bigger ABC. We need to break the 1-to-1 fib level, and okay, then we call wave 3 after leading diagonal. It's a bear market. And of course, I already mentioned yesterday that the 107K is the invalidation of all the bullish scenarios. Okay, of all the bullish, meaning once we become to this part here below the 107K, okay, there is no bullish scenarios in our pocket anymore, and it's simply the bearish one. It is 80 to 90% bearish over there. Yep, so that was it for Bitcoin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.